Good morning, Internet. David here with the McCowan Company, one of the proud sponsors of the AFFTRA. So let's talk about the AFFTRA and what it's going to do. We have a huge problem in this country with the rates on the spot market being insanely low. And we have there's a few things we could do. We've got 2 million new drivers that have been let into this country for whatever reason to crash the market. I don't know exactly what the thinking behind that is. I assume that the corporations and the government got together to drive rates down because they don't want to pay honest wages to honest American citizens, and that's just a fact of the matter. As we can see in Georgia, they just busted one of the Hyundai factories, 450 illegals working in the factory. They've got their practices have gone from hiring Americans who have to have a wage to live in America to hiring cheap labor and cut out the American to try and save a little bit of profit. Now, a lot of guys will say, so, with the cheap labor, guys will say, well, just don't haul the cheap freight. Okay, so none of us haul the cheap freight. There's 2 million other carriers that haul cheap freight from out of this country that are running illegal, that are breaking the laws, and we all know this. So why you keep parroting all of this, drivers are dumb, they don't know their operating costs. I'm sure a few of them don't, but the majority of truck drivers know what they're doing. They're not dumb. They're actually very smart. And for you to always, and I'm not talking to any one person, I'm talking to just the naysayers that are so brainwashed into thinking that the only way they can make profit is by cutting their drivers out of money. So now, what AFFTRA does, the main goal of it is to get the money back into the carrier's pocket where it belongs. Everyone knows I'm a company driver. But as a company driver, I see the tremendous need for the carrier and the owner-operator to have the money in their pocket so I can, in turn, for the hard work that I do, get a better wage. Because right now the business practice of every carrier has to be short the driver and have the most cheap, inexpensive labor you can get in order to survive. They cut corners everywhere, not because they want to, because they have to, because they've been bled literally dry by this predatory brokering system that is going on right now. There is no safeties in place. Common sense would tell you that you cannot book loads under the operating cost of a truck. But yet we look at the spot market, like reefers at $1.80 a mile. $2.75 is what it takes to run a truck down the road on average. So how is it possible that we can post loads that are $1 less than what it takes to run the truck down the road? What corporation, what mom and pop's business does not adjust their price for what it takes to produce their product? In trucking, it's transport. When the coffee beans at the coffee shop price goes up, the price of the coffee goes up, and the coffee company names their price. So Beans Trucking is 85% independent operators. We're all spread out, and we've been overran with cheap labor where our voice is drowned out, and the brokers have zeroed in on cheap labor and encourage it because it makes their profits go through the roof. And it's gone on long enough. We've took too long to stand up and say we're going to set our price. So for all of you that say this is Marxism and communism, this is not. This is the trucking industry, the men and women of this industry demanding our rate. We want to set our price, and our price right now is $5 a mile for any freight to move in this country. That way, and I mean everybody. I mean the illegals, the foreigners, I mean everybody. I don't care about immigration. All that stuff is going to work itself out. What I do care about is every human being getting a fair wage. Every carrier taking home a win on every load, because that's the name of the game. And for them to brainwash us into thinking that we can't set our price for whatever reason, no. Wake up, people. Stand together. Set our price. Stand together. I don't care if you're from this country, from another country. If you're a carrier and you're running freight, do not haul freight under $5 a mile. Start now. Don't wait for the petition. Join the club. Join the group. Join the industry of truck drivers that are banding together, and we're saying no more cheap freight. It's the only way this is going to... I want everyone to succeed. I don't sit here and think, oh, I'm doing good, so fuck everybody else, like so many do. We need to get over that mentality and start lifting up our brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter who they are. The immigration thing is going to work itself out, okay? It's not my job to police that. My job is to encourage us to band together and quit hauling cheap freight and get this petition signed and hopefully get in front of the president and explain to him what is going on in the real trucking industry, not the corporate trucking industry. I'm talking about you, me, my bosses, everybody that's got some skin in the game, guys. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what we have got to do together. As of this morning, we got 6,333 signatures. That's 5 days. That's an average of 1,500 signatures a day. It's got to pick up. We got to get more. We got to come together. So don't sit here and think, oh, it'll never happen. It won't happen if you don't sign the petition, guys. Sign it. If it doesn't happen, no harm, no foul. Get it done. Do it for yourself. Do it for your friends. Do it for your family. A mandatory minimum freight rate is going to correct this whole fucked up system. Okay? There will be nobody hauling cheap freight for under $5 a mile, and therefore everyone is going to succeed. The Muslim, the Indian, the Punjabi, the Mexican, the American, all of us in a truck, doesn't matter who you are, we're humans, and we need an honest freight rate, a base. We need a floor that you can race to the bottom of this, but you can't go below it because it's not feasible. It's common sense, guys. So ignore all the naysayers that are saying, "Oh, this is never going to happen." They don't want it to happen because they've got other things going on. They've sold out, and they're working on other ways to get money off the drivers and everything. I mean, ask yourselves a question. Why would a carrier think it's bad to get $5 a mile? Guaranteed. I've talked to brokers. They think it's great. They're going to love having $5 a mile, which brings me to the next step is capping the brokerages. We've got to reel these guys in. There's got to be a base cap rate on these brokers that is going to be realistic for this industry to move on. It's almost dead. We have got to get this AFFTRA.org thing signed. It's right here. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. It guarantees a wage to every owner-operator. Every carrier will have money back in their pocket. It's got a cap on insurance rates. It's got everything. I mean, it could be better, but that's the thing. We want to get it in front of the president and get eyes on it, national attention, so we can have the conversation that we want as drivers. We got to quit sitting around letting the government set our wages and set our regulations for us. We got to set our price. And if we have to come together and ask for or demand a certain set of regulations that we wrote and we want as a whole, then that's what we got to do. Guys, have a great day.